So this week on the gold market, we can see that the market pushed up quite a bit from where we were projecting last week, and the analysis played out to the upside seamlessly. So if you're looking for a game plan for this upcoming week, especially given the fact that we do have FOMC, which is basically the Federal Open Market Committee, where they will make a decision as to whether or not the interest rates will move up or not, that's going to play a really big factor into the gold market for this upcoming week. So if you're looking for that analysis, you are in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to go over my entries, my exits, and my profit target zones. So that way you can have a solid game plan going into this potentially tumultuous week. So let's go ahead and look at the XAU market. Let's start on the weekly time frame. I mean, this is pretty much a given. The market has been pretty much bullish for over a month, and you can see that that bullish momentum is starting to slow down a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily say that there is less steam inside of this market, because you just never know. Price could continue to push up even higher, but we see very bullish momentum on this weekly time frame. So let's just go ahead and mark off a level, and the level I want to mark off here is right at the top, and that's going to be at 36.74, really close to 36.75. Price has not gotten up to there yet, but it's really close. So let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame, so that way we could see this price action a bit clearly. Okay, so we can see the level that we drew just now, and we do have a bit of consolidation inside of the zone. Okay, so looking at the daily time frame, we can see this is the high that we had, and now we have some consolidation inside of this range. It's been consolidating for the past couple of days, and I've taken some trades in here, ended up the week slightly profitable. So still all good, but let's just go ahead and see what could potentially happen. So right here on the daily time frame, we're just going to clean up just a little bit, but basically we can see very strong bullish momentum. And let's go ahead and go down to the H4 time frame. Okay, so now we're here on the H4 time frame. We can see very clearly that the analysis played out to the upside very clearly, but we did have some sort of market structure that formed within here this past week. So the thing that I want to do is I want to use my horizontal rate tool, and I just want to mark off a couple of levels. So the first level is going to be here at 36.19, especially because price came up. It formed some sort of support, and then it came back to this support and respected it, and then pushed up from there. So that is one level. So another level I want to draw is going to be right about here, and that's going to be at 36.56, especially because now we want to put this consolidation range into a box, and we want to see which way it's going to break out. So we'll get into more detail on lower time frames, but this is how I wanted to look here on the H4 time frame. And let's go ahead and go down to the H2 time frame. All right, so now we can see with a bit more clarity on the H2 time frame what is actually happening in this zone. So right here we have this touch, and we have these candles here. So I'm actually going to move this down just a little bit, because a lot of the touches inside of this range actually occurs around 36.15, and the top side is looking good. And down here, there's really nothing that I want to change all that much, because I actually like the way this is looking. This actually played out really nice. Okay, I like the way this is looking. So let's go ahead and go down to the H1 time frame, so that way we can make some minor adjustments and then get into our game plan. So looking at the H1 time frame, we can see that these levels are looking quite nice, especially right here. It's still looking good, so I'm going to leave that alone. But there are some other levels here on the H1 time frame that I do want to adjust. So one level right here specifically that I want to mark off, because I remember seeing this in real time, and I actually took a trade around here, which is actually really nice. So anyway, so this level right here, I want to mark that off, and I think that's probably, nope, actually I do want to mark off one more level. I see it, it's about right here. And this first level that I drew is going to be at 36.31, and then the second level that I drew is at 36.39, really close to 36.40. Either of those numbers are going to be good for you, because it's a very small difference inside of this huge market. And if you're looking for hands-on help with your trading, go ahead and check out the link in the description box below, especially especially because it'll take you to this website. Watch this video. It is amazing. And basically, you can learn how you can get the help and the support that you need in order to become a consistently profitable trader. And you can also look at some of the results that people have received inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. So go ahead and click the link in the description box below and get the help that you know that you deserve. So let's get into our game plan for this upcoming week. I kind of already started mapping out that analysis with these levels right here, but let's get into a little bit more detail. So moving these candles in a bit, there is a range within here that I want to measure and just make sure that it's decent. And right now this is about 82 pips, which is cool depending on your strategy. It's not all that much for me because I typically target hundreds of pips inside of the market, but this point to the upside, 157, that's something that's going to be a bit more interesting to me in terms of taking the trade. And then let's just measure all the way up here to this height of the market. So that is 348 pips. So definitely a decent amount of pips to grab if price continues to push up. So looking at where price is currently, what I'm seeing right now is basically like price stopped about in this zone. So price could potentially retest this level and then come back up. That's one idea that I have inside of this market. The other idea is, of course, a deeper retracement into this level or even this level right here, because I do remember price coming to this zone quite a few times this past week. So it could be one of these levels and then push up. And then I wouldn't be looking for shorts. I know that is really tempting because price is at an all-time high. Ooh, let's go ahead and short the market. But that is the quickest way to blow up your account. So just because price has reached a new high, it doesn't necessarily mean that price will all of a sudden flip and then go down. I tried that strategy on this market and some other markets, so I'm speaking from experience, and it did not always work out. So I'm trying to save you some money here. But do whatever you want. But basically, when it comes to my idea for the downside, I'm really not looking for anything, maybe a short-term opportunity below this level at 36.15. I know I was watching this level real time when all of this was playing out, and I was actually looking to flip my bias just for the short term, but I didn't. And I'm glad that I did not flip it because you can see that price did all that. So as you can see, the range between this point and this point is roughly 141 pips inside of the market. Basically just looking left and just seeing this market structure here and seeing in real time if it gets respected or not. That will make me decide whether or not I want to short the market around here. But typically I am looking for buys until price tells me otherwise. So let me just go ahead and put that up arrow there, and then a short-term down arrow here. And then, like I said, this range is about 140 or so pips. Go to about there. Okay, great. And that will be my idea there. But let's just say price did come down further. I will be looking left just to see what levels it could potentially bounce off of, like right here at 35.81. But really, I see more of 35.75 just because it's a really nice round psychological number inside of the market. So essentially, this would be my game plan for this upcoming week on gold. And of course, price can continue to blast past this previous high and do something else. I really like to wait to see what market structure does and then find an opportunity after that. So if you've enjoyed this analysis, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel because currently we are posting 3 videos every single week full of value. So go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel so that way you don't miss any of them. And of course, click on any of the videos you see here on the screen and I will see you in those.